here 11 years. I figured I might as well start coming to meetings.
Thanks for being here.
That's all.
All right then. We'll call the meeting to order. Trustee Rios is absent.
Excused?
Yes. Okay, stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Public comment. All right then. None today. Next item, we'll be looking at looking for a motion to consent the agenda and minutes of the 10:14 meeting.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes from 10:14 and consent the agenda.
A motion, is there a second?
Second.
First by Root, second by Johnson. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, so passed. We'll come back to Sheriff's report. President's report. Not too much for me on this one. We'll touch on what is the bulk of my actions when we get to the plowing contract, but otherwise it's been a pretty quiet month, which is nice to report. Trustee Barrios is excused. Trustee Black.
Just a little bit of welcome stuff and a little bit of visitation of beautification meetings, that's it.
Okay. Trustee Gasser.
Jen Hinkle and I had a meeting with Chris Jenkins, Administrator Jenkins, just to talk about events for next year and set up a calendar. So those dates are all pretty much set. And now we're just looking to see how that will all fall forward, because we have a couple different chairs. We're hoping people will step up and help chair some of those larger events that we're thinking of. So look for the dates that are coming, and we are planning a Christmas party for December 11th, which is a Saturday here from 12 to 2. So more information is coming. If anyone from the public would like to help, feel free to let me know. But it should be a good little event, so that's all.
Very good, thank you. Trustee Hinkle.
Nothing new to report?
Trustee Johnson.
Nothing new.
All right, Trustee Root.
Okay, just working with Chris, finishing up the last minute tweaks of the budget, and very proud of the budget that the village is going to be having this next year. Rent for the hall this past month was $945. Not sure as to the rent for the gym, but I'm sure Administrator Jenkins will be able to give that report also. Thank you.
Thank you. Administrator Jenkins.
All right. Well, we're getting into tax season, so a lot of time is spent working with the county and putting all of our upcoming numbers for that. So that should be thrilling come December. Let's see. I started meeting with contractors for the driveway, complex driveway repavement and expansion. We'll be meeting with contractors over the next couple months to kind of get an estimate together on what that would cost, and then that'll be brought before the board relatively soon. I've been working on a large, well, potentially large grant through ARPA funds. It's a tourism-related grant that's specifically for capital projects. So I tied a lot of that grant to the driveway reconstruction, and then just other ideas we had for the complex. So we've talked about a gazebo at one point. We talked about updating playground equipment, really just using whatever we can to say, hey, if we do these things, we'll increase tourism in the region, right? So that was submitted as last night. So we'll cross our fingers. We'll find out in December if we get anything. On a positive tourism front, I'd applied for a Mount Pleasant tourism grant last month, if you remember, and we got a little stipend from that. They did do it. They did lay it out based on population. So the Village Development Park got a whopping $500 from that. So we'll take it. And then just a reminder, both for this body and for the public, that the Village Caucus is January 13th. There are 3 Village Trustee seats up for election. We have one that is intending to run, one who is not intending to run, and one undecided. At that point, we will be, again, looking for at least one new board member to join our ranks. So if you know anybody, feel free to let them know that it's open and to contact me, and we'll get them up and running. So I think that's it.
Very good. Moving on, the public hearing. The public hearing on the proposed Village of Elmwood Park budget for the year 2022. I'd like to start by asking what the last minute tweaks that you were talking about, what exactly were those tweaks?
We just talked a little bit about.
Grammatical.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
It's
grammatical.
literally reading through the budget book and adding a period and those kind of things.
Okay.
Nothing
Nothing.
substantive or dollar signs. so-
Those are important. I'm sorry, English teachers.
Yeah. Well, did you read through it? Do you have anything you want to add?
What you talking about?
Good job.
Punctuation matters.
It does.
Christie, do you have anything on this?
Bumper sticker.
Well, I can save it for the next item, so we'll open up the public hearing first, if anybody from the public would like to speak.
Now, is the proper way is, do we move for a public hearing, or is it open?
Nope, so you call it open, so. Would anybody from the public like to speak on this item? And otherwise, we just need a motion to end the public hearing.
Are you sure?
I'm good.
Yeah.
To make a motion to end the public hearing of the, do you want me to say all of it? No,
You can.
to end the public,
Well, you can shorten it.
for the budget for the year 2020.
All right, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
First by trustee Gasser, second by trustee Ruth. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? You guys have it so fast. All right, then on to old business, which is the approval of the 2022 Village of Elmwood Park operating budget and appropriating the necessary funds for the operation of government administration for the Village of Elmwood Park for the year 2022. Does anyone have any questions at this point? I will say this budget and the booklet that was put together are phenomenal
Yeah.
and represent great strides forward over the last few years. And really presenting and not just the budget itself, but explaining it to the residents. It's a phenomenal booklet. Read it all the way through, take a look. It is quite a nice document.
Agreed.
I think that we have
Yes.
to give credit to Chris. I mean, he really did a good job.
Mhm.
There was actually a page in here that I said, maybe we should look at sending out with the tax bills as far as how your dollar is broken down for taxes. And I said that would really be a good idea to send out with tax bills, just so people have some idea. So, thank you very much, Chris. You did a great job.
Great job done.
The only thing that, again, I'll just reiterate for the public is this last little section that's on page 8 of my summary that talks about the breakdown. So I'll just summarize this, that the allowable levy from the state of Wisconsin is $115,000 now, plus our debt obligation payments. So if you divide your allowable levy amongst the assessed value of the village, your overall tax rate is 6% even for $1,000 of value. So for every $1,000 of assessed value, you're collecting an even $6. And again, this is going down from 6.4, which is what you had last year. So that should be great for the taxpayers to hear.
Good job. You did a great job.
If there are no more questions, then we'll look for a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the operating budget and then appropriate and necessary funds for the operation of government and administration of the Village of Elmwood Park for the year 2022.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a
Second.
second? First by trustee Ruth, second by trustee Black. Is this a roll call?
Just happens.
We'll make it one then. Any discussion one last time? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it so passed.
Thanks so much.
Thank the both of you, well, everyone who was involved in any way, large or small. Moving on then, new business, approval of the 2021 through 22 snow removal contract. So, it feels like it was much longer ago than 2 weeks at this point, but 2 weeks ago I had received a phone call that Mike would not be able to handle the snow plowing this year. He cited manpower concerns and indirectly, there were some just concerns about certain issues with plowing snow in the village. So from there, I immediately asked him, is there anything that can be done, you know, if rates are the issue or whatnot, and Trustee Root, I think, also had a similar conversation. He said that it really wasn't a money issue at this point, it was manpower being the biggest issue. So at least that's what he conveyed to me, so that shut the door on moving forward with him, so immediately became a mad scramble to find a contractor. So quite a few people were involved in that, Trustee Root, myself, and Administrator Jenkins were calling quite a few people. I don't know if anyone else did, I'm sure some calls were made. So thank you to everyone for looking. I probably contacted 6 private contractors throughout this process. Chris contacted Pleasant, City of Racine, County of Racine. We got no's all around. Right at the end, we did get an interested party that, after we made initial contact with them, started becoming more recommended from other municipal partners, and that would be asphalt contractors. So I had met with Robert, the owner of Asphalt Contractors, or one of the owners, I'm not sure exactly which point, where they're at with the ownership. Sounds like he works with his father there as well. And we drove through the village, we looked at all the roads, the lack of curb, which is a big concern for him, and long story short, he felt like this is something that he could take on and do a good job for us. The shoveling of the walks in the campus here, that's something he can take on as well. There are some differences between him and Mike. So Mike, it's going to be very hard to replace someone like that who's had a lot of experience with these roads and knows the ins and outs and what to do and not to do, and all the things that go with it. So first off, we'll just say price is a difference here. This is, in my opinion, going to be more. I mean, it'd be some sort of miracle if the efficiencies of having larger equipment outweighed the cost that Mike has. Just right off the bat, Mike is around half on his hourly rates with trucking equipment and things like that. The difference is that Asphalt Contractors has much larger equipment. They're designed and they shoot for municipal work. So when you see their equipment, it's much more like what you'd see with Racine County, City of Racine, large equipment. So it's less passes and they're more efficient when they're going through, which in and of itself is another issue. Large trucks, small roads.
Yeah, and
So-
it's not gonna be a problem for, I'm just asking for weight.
No,
Roads, right?
it's comparable to the garbage truck.
Okay.
You know, there's nothing more that we're putting on right now, and we talked about this when we did the new roads anyway, so we've accommodated that at least in the new roads. Salting, he was actually able to keep the same salt price, so overall, I think our cost is gonna go up if compared to Mike. I'd get in your heads that you're gonna see a 20 to 40% increase. And I say 40 because I want to play a little safe, but there will most likely be a cost increase that we'll see at the end of the year. Other than that, everything seemed to be good. We're gonna have to send out a letter if we do proceed with Asphalt Contractors to all the residents, notifying them of the differences with this contractor, and more so heads up that, hey, we've got a new contractor now. Expect some growing pains here, and let's get through the year and see what happens next year.
Hopefully we don't have a lot of snow, and we'll see what happens. But I just want to tell the board we're extremely lucky to get this contact. Ernie reached out, and we're extremely lucky to be able to get somebody at this late hour. And even Chris, you know, he reached out to the county and the city in Mount Pleasant, and they all said no. I mean, what would we have done? Right, we didn't have anybody. So thank you, Ernie, for
Good job.
checking into that.
I panicked, but then I was just like, oh, this was like 2 days ago.
Chris, you can't put a plow in your Prius. You can plow in Prius.
That was not specifically that route, but that was one of the options
We
that
thought
was
about it.
discussed, is getting a truck. And
really?
then figuring out how, between myself and some other people, how we were going to plow
Okay,
those
well, you've
roads.
got the month of December.
That is how-
we're
yeah,
in
right.
January.
But and so we did everything we could to try and get 2
I'll take
bids
March.
on this at least. Trustee Root did have a contractor that said he'd be interested in doing this. We didn't get a formal contract. I believe there was some verbal numbers exchanged.
Yeah, if you want me to tell you, just get ready, calm down, okay?
Okay, our budget.
So remember that our budget for a whole year is 25,000.
And that's what we spent last year.
Okay, you ready for this?
Go ahead.
And
Okay,
your
Billy?
horses now.
No. But the gentleman who, I just won't even name because I don't want to, put a sour grapes in his mouth. But his offer was a set contracted amount of $20,000 a month, okay, for the months of November through April. And then he would have done it for us, so.
And that was
it's a-
snow or no snow, if it was no snow or
Yeah,
40 inches in a month.
I could not believe
I know, in that case, it was a good brother.
that's amazing.
You might be-
What a show. Not.
So does anyone have any questions
So-
about how this works or?
I have just have two questions. We still have the people that come and put the stakes in the yard to show where our yards are.
No, that'll be asphalt contract.
It will be
now.
asphalt
That was
contract.
Mike
That was
previous.
Mike before? And if you send out a letter, would you recommend that people put their own stakes in the yard?
No, he does not want those. As a matter of
I-
fact, that was a problem that Mike had too, and he voiced to me is that, a lot of people put the pencil sticks out, those little orange
But then
ones. They destroy those and then homeowners complain about it. That doesn't stop the plow from pushing snow onto your yard. I mean, you're talking thousands and thousands of
we never
pounds.
do, I just wondered.
I mean, just speaking generality to.
So I wonder if in the letter that you send out that just states that.
That's one of the items.
That might not be a
So
bad
the limit right now, we're
suggestion.
gonna have to come out.
Yes, and if people ignore that, it's just a matter of when they're damaged, it's not our or the contractor's responsibility.
Right,
Bottom line, they should know from the road construction that that first 10 feet.
Well, I think a lot of people started doing it because of the landscaping restoration that happened at the end of the year, because you see a lot of them this year, excuse me, this is
Right, no, there's a lot more.
So I think that once people realize, and you'll send out this letter, it'll push people along to remove them, maybe they're thinking it'll help with plowing. Part of the biggest issue think we're gonna have here is that when you're using these larger trucks, they don't plow intermittently during the storm like Mike did. Mike did that, it was nice to see it, but one of the things that Robert said to me is that's not typical. That's in the municipalities and whatnot, you wait till the end of the storm and then you plow so that you're not just continuously putting trucks out. And the reality is, in a city like Racine or a village like Mount Pleasant, that's just not realistic. We have a small village here, we've got 2.5 miles of road where you can keep up on that, and that's just not the norm. And it actually took him saying that for me to remember what it was like living in an area for a little bit that you waited till the storm was over and you just didn't go anywhere during the storm.
right.
So that's probably gonna be something that residents aren't used to. And then the larger vehicles, or the larger plows, so now you're pushing the whole storm as opposed to a little bit. So now we'll go back to the pencil stakes, they're going to get pushed out of the way. You're gonna have more snow, you're gonna have bigger piles of snow in front of everyone's driveway, which a lot of people have an issue with, but that's more of a standard that other people are used to. We're not used to seeing it here. So there's gonna be a lot of new issues and complaints, I feel, that come up from just seeing what is normal for other people when we don't have that luxury anymore with Mike.
Yeah, he did a great job.
He did do a great job.
Can we look back at him next year if he has manpower? Will we?
Yep, so. and-
I liked what you said at the end, that this will be for this year, and then
Yeah.
next year we're gonna look back and bid out again.
Yeah, so that was emphasized to asphalt is that we needed 1 year to fix our current problem, right? And then we'll go out for a formal bidding process earlier in the year. when
Right,
everybody's
well, we didn't
communicating.
know, and
Yeah.
it's just the way of the world right now. so.
Yeah, yeah.
Asphalt contractors said that Robert said that they typically would do like a 5-year contract, which is what we're seeing from a lot of the contractors, even prior to this, because they plan equipment purchases based off of long-term contracts. So I told them that this year it's gonna be like a 1-year deal, just to get us through this emergency, and then we'll look at in the spring, like Chris said, bidding that out to local contractors, and if it's asphalt contractors again, so good.
All right,
I think another thing that villagers need to know is that in the city of Racine, they do the main thoroughfares, and they do 2 side streets. And that's why you hear a lot of people complaining about, oh, we've got so many, potholes and snow going up and down. So the villagers have gotten really used to having all their streets plowed, and I don't think they realize just how lucky they are sometimes to be able to have that. Yeah, so
And that was a luxury.
that was a
I
luxury.
think a letter going out to residents is a really good idea.
And then another thing that's likely to happen now that we're pushing larger amounts of snow,
Right.
we're gonna be losing some mailboxes.
Oops. Whoops.
So one of the things asphalt contractors will do is that when they are damaged, he will replace them, at least temporarily, concrete, because you're not digging a hole in the middle of winter to put a new mailbox in. But he will either replace the mailbox with a standard, like what you'd see at Menards, a T-post with a standard box. He'll just handle that. If the owner has an ornamental one, which you'll notice a lot of people have contraptions for mailboxes in the village. So then he would just, I believe it was somewhere, it was either $150 or $200 that he would then just give to the owner. I said, at that point, give it to us, we'll become the medium, or whichever way he wants to do it so that it gets to the owner. That way we can be a part of it, monitor it, either way works for me. But those are the finer details of it. That's probably gonna be, aside from the larger snow pushes, but damage to mailboxes, because they've never had to endure, but they will this year. So the weak ones will be tested.
Just patience from the residents too, patience, he's moving tons of snow, and just try to understand that.
So I did speak to him today again. I said, if this were to move forward, then him and Administrator Jenkins would have a conversation, work together to get this letter out, touch on the key items, most of which we have talked about just now. And there's more.
Regarding the mailboxes, would residents, as someone whose mailbox has been taken out twice over the last couple of years by the garbage trucks, you have them contact you directly?
Oh, yes, you call the village. We're contracting the service, so you
Right,
contact
okay,
the
that's-
village.
I would put that in the bold
Oh,
letter.
there'll be some language in there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Attention, Ken.
Any other questions?
That's good reading.
Yep. Okay. If there's no more questions, we'll look for a motion.
Make a motion to approve the 2021-22 snow removal contract with asphalt contractors, or what is it, asphalt
Contract.
contractors?
Would you like to just reference the rates table, just say per his rates table?
Per his rates table, price increase.
All right then, we have a motion
Second.
and a second, first by trustee Gasser, second by trustee Johnson. I'd like to do a roll call on this.
I have just a question real quick.
Oh, excuse me, discussion.
No,
You're
no,
right, I'm sorry,
no.
thank you.
Holiday pay, is that for actual holidays or is that like weekend?
Federally observed holidays.
Okay.
So this year, the example I use with Chris is that Christmas this year, the day of observance is the Monday. So if it snows Monday, we're getting hit.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So that whole weekend,
No
we don't
white
want.
Christmas,
No,
yeah.
exactly. You don't want to steal that weekend. Any other discussion?
You ever make another motion?
We have a motion on the floor right now, so then I'd like to do a roll call on this one, trustee Black.
Black eye.
Rude, aye.
Rossi, aye.
Johnson, aye.
Hinkle eye.
Gasser, aye.
All right then. The motion is passed then, we'll be contracting with asphalt contractors in this winter season.
Wonderful.
Once you skip to the accounts payment.
Yeah, we'll jump around here, like trustee, or Administrator Jenkins just said, we're gonna do the approval of accounts payable and then we'll go into closed session, so. Has everyone had a chance to look at the accounts payable?
Yes.
All right, then, we're gonna look for a motion.
Make a motion to approve the accounts payable.
All right, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
First by Johnson, second by Black, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, so passed. All right, number one. Next, we'll be looking at a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 19.851E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, investing in public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. Item is offer to purchase. You'll know more when we're in. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to go into closed session regarding the offer to purchase.
All right, there's a motion. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
First by trustee Ruth, second by trustee Gasser.
This is the
This is the roll call. Roll call, please.
Black eye.
Rude, aye.
Rossi, aye.
Johnson, right?
Hinkle, aye.
Gasser, aye.
All right.
We're closed. And we'll be adjourning from closed session.
Thanks for coming, Kelly.